Hello everybody, today we're going to be learning about all the commands in Minecraft in a short overview form. First command is /advancement. You can either grant or revoke it. So, you can grant everything, and that's crazy. You can grant only one. You can grant from, for example, that. But since, of course, you can through, so from base all the way through, and then into. You can also Next we have /attribute. This will allow for different attributes to be assigned. So, you can get the base, and that will be the base amount that you get, that it is. So, if I were to set the value to 10, and summon, for say, a sheep, I could kill it in one punch. I am now one punch man. Now you can also get the base again, and it says 10. Now, you can also get it. So, if I were to give myself a netherite sword and get the attack damage, it is increased. Next is modifier. Modifier requires a UUID, which is a 5-character with A through F, 1 through 9, or 1 through 0, technically, and all the capitals. And it is 5 characters. And then you're going to want a value or a name. I don't know why you need a name. And then you add, multiply, or multiply the base. Last /attribute, but not least, for sure, at least in the modifier category, is remove. This is very important because, well, you need to remove them from time to time. And you can also get the value. But we don't have a modifier anymore. It was removed. Next we have /bossbar. This basically adds a boss bar. A bar at the top. You can get the certain things about it, like for example the max, the players, the values, and the visibility. The list lists it, and remove just removes the boss bar. With set, you can set certain attributes about it, like the color, the maximum, and the name, the players, the style, and the value. Let's set the value to 10. Easy. And then /bossbar, remove. Next up, we have /clear. This will basically just clear anything you have in your inventory, or specific items if you want to. And even specific amounts of that item. So /clear, and it clears all of my items. Or, if I want to, I can clear netherite pickaxe. And I no longer have it. Or, I can even clear a certain amount of items. So, name tag, 10. I only cleared 10 name tags. Next up, we have /clone. And what this will do is it will take a certain area and copy it and paste it. And then next we have /data. /data can be used in get, merge, modify, and remove. So let's get a chest and we'll practice with this. So /data get block, and then this block. And then it just tells you the data. Now you can data merge it and set specific attributes about it. let's set some items. Slot 1B, so the second slot. Then we're going to set the ID to Minecraft Apple. And then, of course, we need to count. 10 apples. Now we have 10 apples. Next, we have data modify. And so, let's take some apples and spread them around the chest. Randomly. So, we're going to data modify block, that block, its items, which is the target path, and we're going to set from this block items. And now we have a ton of apples. And it exactly copies it. So it's very useful in certain situations. Next up, we have slash data remove. Well, as it might suggest, it removes data. So let's put a bunch of apples in here again, and we're going to remove its items. And now it no longer has apples. Next, we have slash data pack. Slash data pack allows you to disable and enable data packs and list them. So we have a test pack, and I just disabled it. And if I enable it, it's enabled again. And then you can also list available and enabled. Next, we have slash debug. This just does debugging for your world. Nothing too hard. Next is slash default game mode. Basically, you can set the game mode that everybody will be in when they join. And finally, slash difficulty. This just sets the difficulty. So, peaceful. Next we have slash effect. This will just give a player an effect, or a mob. So, now we have bad omen. Or you can clear the effect, or a specific effect. So once again, bad omen. Nothing too hard. Next, we have slash enchant. And, well, you need an item in your hand, of course. And you can't go over the amount, which is the maximum. So, let's grab an axe. Enchant it with sharpness 5. It's enchanted now. And you also cannot input uncompatible enchants on it as well. Next up is slash execute. Slash execute is one of the most useful commands when you're creating data packs, at least with functions. So I'll go over 3 basic things. Slash execute as, and then slash execute run will allow you to execute as a certain entity. So we can summon a sheep. So I'm going to execute as the sheep. As the sheep, run, say hi. And then the sheep says hi. You can execute at, and then run, set, block, stone. And then it will work at the sheep and set it to stone. Run will just run a command. And that's all I'll go over, because that is very complicated. But with the as, you can modify the data of multiple entities. So, at least there's that. And now, we get data of multiple entities. Or we could change that data. Next is slash experience. This will just allow you to add experience. So, plain and simple. You can also query how much experience you have. So, 204 levels and 811 points. You can also set the amount of experience you have to certain amounts. So, I no longer have any experience. Next up is slash fill. This will just fill the blocks that you indicate with a certain block. Let's turn it to stone. And replace air. And now we have a giant stone pillar. And let's turn it to air, replacing stone. And it's gone. After slash fill, we have slash force load. This will add a force load, which basically means that wherever you are, this chunk will always be loaded. Even if you're 10,000 blocks away. So, you can also remove a force load and query a force load. So, where exactly is a force load is at? Last but not least, we have function. And it just runs a function. So, I have the test pack that has a test function in it. And it just runs it when you do slash function. Next up, we have slash game mode. This just sets your game mode to whatever you specify. Next, slash game rule will just set a certain game rule. So, keep inventory to true. Or do fire tick to false. And finally, slash give. This will just give a certain player or mob, but that doesn't really seem to work, a certain item. So, I have 10 occasion planks. Next is slash help. This just displays a giant wall of text to help you with commands. And then after that, we have slash kick. I don't want to do that because I don't want to be kicked. Now, we have slash kill. We can use that to kill entities or players. So, once again, with the poor sheep, we're gonna kill it. Or maybe many. And then type equal sheep. And then type equal item. And then all gone, no evidence. And then we have slash list. This just lists the UUIDs of players. Pretty simple. Next, we have slash locate, which will locate a structure. But since this is a flat world with no structures, we can't do that. We have locate biome, which will locate a biome. And, oh, I misspelled that. We're in a desert. Who knew? And finally, slash loot. This is a command that allows you to give, or maybe spawn, or whatever you want, of certain loot tables. So, for example, let's get a piglin bartering, obsidian, ender pearls, second try, and fire charge. That just gives it. Alright, next, we have insert, which will insert into a block, but we don't have any of those. So I can replace a certain slot with loot. Doesn't want to work. Oh, 12 blackstone, 15 blackstone, 6 soul sand, obsidian, soul sand, nether bricks, spectral arrows, etc., etc. And finally, spawn. So this will just spawn it in item form. It's a generator. It just generates piglin item trades. Really cool. Next up we have slash me. And this just does that. Basically, I don't know really how to explain it. Message is basically slash whisper. Yeah. I might as well go over slash whisper right now. They're the same thing. Next up, we have slash particle. And it spawns particles, so I'm now taking a shower. And it's just summoning a particle right above it. Next up, we have slash play sound. And this will play a sound. So, Minecraft block dot anvil. And let's do a destroy on master, because that will always play unless you don't have any volume at all. Let's put the volume to 100 or 10,000. And while we have that, I might as well go over stop sound. And it will just stop all sounds that are playing. Next up, we have /publish, and this just turns your game into a LAN world. Now we have /recipe. This will just give or take a recipe to a person. So I'm just going to give myself an asterisk, which means all recipes. And apparently I already have all of them. So in this case, let's take them all. And then give them back. And I now have all the recipes unlocked. Really useful. Now we have reload. This is useful when making data packs because it allows you to reload your world and make changes to it, to the data pack, and then have those changes go back into your world. Then finally, we have /replace item. This will replace an item in a certain slot of a block or entity being mob, and so if I put my armor.chest and turn it into a diamond _ chest plate, I am now in diamonds. Or armor.head and netherite block. I am now block cube man. In the new 1.17 snapshots, we have a new command, /item. This basically does the same thing as /replace item, but more. So, I already went over how to replace items. So, that's what replace does. But copy, well, that's a new thing. So, I can get a chest, for example, and let's put some chests in there. Just put chests all over. So, copy, block, and then let's take container.19. I get chests. It copies the data from there. Or, I could do it the other way around. Block, and then how about armor.chest, and then copy, or wait, container.19, and then copy, entity, Eatman Lord, yeah, weapon.mainhand, and now we have an error. Our next command after /item is /say, and this just says things. Or you can execute as an entity and say it as them. So, /schedule, this will just schedule a function. So, let's run it after 1 day. Maybe that's too long. Let's just clear it. Now, let's run it after 10 ticks. Done. Scoreboard. This is an interesting command. First, let's add a scoreboard and call it test. It's going to be dummy. Okay then. We already have one. List will just list your scoreboards. I have one named test. Next we have modify, which will modify it. So, the display name and the render type. Make sure it's at no. Now, let's set it to integers, which is numbers. We can remove a scoreboard and set the display. So, sidebar. Oh. We need to set the sidebar to test. Alright. Now, we have players. Let's add Eatman Lord test 1. I now have 1. I can enable, which is for trigger, scoreboards. Let's get mine on test. I have 1. List just lists either the scores or the entities that have the scores. Operation just runs operations. So, let's minus equal my own in test. And that's easy. Alright. Remove Eatman Lord test. I know -10. Alright, let's reset it. I no longer have any score. But now I can set it to a lot. A big number. I now have a big number. I am very good at test. Alright. And then we can remove test. Bye-bye. Next command. /seed. Just gets you the seed. That's a cool thing. Seed, yes. Set block sets the block. A specific area to a block. Pretty easy. Next is set world spawn. This just sets the world spawn. So whenever anybody joins, they'll join there. And if I kill myself, I spawn right here. And look, it's a cow! That's for /spectate, if you want to know. This sets a player's specific spawn point. So let's set the spawn point here. And now we have /spectate, which /spectate at e limit equal 1 type equal cow. I'm now spectating the cow. You can also just left click on them to spectate. Pretty cool. Next up we have spread players. This is a pretty cool command. You can spread the players over a certain distance. 10. The max range, how about 25? And then under 50, so that's the Y, under 50 blocks. And then let's respect teams, and then add everyone. Let's just keep it the same. Alright. And there we go. It's spreading us out. Pretty cool. Sorry for the technical difficulties. And we already went over stop sound. Next up we have /summon. Summon, the summon command just summons an entity. So here's an armor stand. Or maybe a chest minecart. Very cool indeed. Next up is /tag. This just adds a tag to an entity. So, and then we can remove tag. /team. Okay, we can add a team. And then we can join it. And then empty it. Oh no. Pretty cool. And since it's empty, we don't need to leave. And we can list the teams. Modify, you can modify things about the team. So let's set the color to aqua. And now it's aqua. Pretty cool. And then remove team. Bye-bye team. Now we have /team MSG. Well, this is just /whisper, but for your team. /tell. Alright, that's /whisper. Or, yeah, it's basically just /whisper. Yep. Another one of those. We've got like 10 of them. Tell raw, as it may suggest, just says something without any extra little prefix to it. Now, instead of something like that. /time sets the time. So let's set that to noon. It's now noon. /title. Okay, this is a cool one. So I'm going to, there are a few types. There's action bar, which is down there near your hotbar. You have title. Let's set the subtitle first. Let's set it to no. Now we can create a title and then set the title to 1. 1 is no. And then times is how long everything does. So that's pretty cool. And then /TM is team message, and then /TP is the same thing as /teleport. I can just TP myself. Next, we have slash weather, which sets the weather. So, set it to rain, but since we're in a desert, it doesn't really help. And then slash world border. So, let's center it right here. And then set it to 20 over 5 seconds. And then you'll see the world border just pop into existence pretty soon. Bam! There we go. Look at this. Basically, it disallows you from traveling any further without the use of ender pearls, or those things of the sort. The last command on this list is /xp, and it does the same thing as /experience. So, I now have 100 more levels. If you like this video, consider liking and subscribing for more content, and don't forget to watch out for my new videos that will come out soon on more in-depth into commands.